Hello everybody, how lovely for me to get another chance to talk to all of you. Now last time I promised you 2 more parables, 2 more stories that Jesus told, stories that we find in the Bible. I'm going to put the Bible behind us. These are stories that we find in Luke's Gospel. I'm going to tell you 2 of the parables today, and there's going to be 1 more next time. All these 3 parables are stories about things that are lost. Things and sometimes people who are lost. Sometimes we can be lost when we don't know our way to a place, don't we? Or maybe we're in a place and we feel a bit lost in that place. Sometimes we can feel lost in our lives. Sometimes our lives can turn into a bit of a jumble. And we don't really know where we're going in our lives, or maybe actually we know that we're going in the wrong direction in our lives. And Luke says that Jesus was sitting with some people who had gone in the wrong direction in their lives, people who felt a bit lost. He was sitting with some tax collectors. Do you remember I told you the tax collectors were the people who worked for the Romans? They collected people's taxes, their money. But tax collectors had a bit of a reputation for being cheats, because sometimes tax collectors took more money than they should do, or sometimes they didn't give all the money that they should have given to the Romans. They kept little bits for themselves. So Jesus was sitting with the tax collectors, and then also the people whom Luke calls the sinners, people whose lives weren't what they should have been, people who were doing a lot of naughty things in their lives. So people whose lives were a bit lost. Jesus was sitting talking to them. In Luke's Gospel, Jesus spends a lot of time talking to the tax collectors and sinners. Now the Pharisees, they were the people who knew the religious law. The Pharisees and the scribes, the people who copied out the law, they could see Jesus with those tax collectors and sinners, and they said to one another, "What is that man doing, sitting with tax collectors and sinners? What is he doing, eating with people like that?" And Jesus said to them, "Listen." And he told them some parables. These are the parables that he told them. Jesus said, there was a man who had 100 sheep. Now, normally when we have sheep in stories in our schools, I bring my slipper sheep, don't I? It's one of them. But we've got 100 sheep in this story, so actually there isn't going to be enough room for those slipper sheep. So I have got, let me put the grass down first. Here is the grass. Let's put the shepherd to one side just for a moment. Here is the lovely green grass for the sheep that the man had. And here, the man, here are take a long time, isn't it, if I get them out like that? So I'm going to tip out 100 sheep. A man hat. 100 sheep. There he is with his flock. And Jesus said, imagine that one of the sheep got lost and 99 sheep were left. Jesus said, if that happened to you, wouldn't you go out like that man did, leaving the 99 sheep? Wouldn't you go out to find the sheep that was lost? Wouldn't you go out to find the lost sheep? And wouldn't the man carry the lost sheep on his shoulders back to the 99? Wouldn't the man do that, said Jesus. And wouldn't the man, when he'd found his lost sheep, wouldn't he call his friends and say, come, rejoice with me, because I have found my sheep that was lost? Jesus said to the scribes and the Pharisees, you know, there's even more joy in heaven when someone whose life was a bit of a mess gets straightened out. There's even more joy in heaven when one sinner turns their life round and repents. And then Jesus said, let's move the sheep. Jesus said to the scribe and the Pharisee, or listen, what woman? There's the woman. What woman? There's the woman's house. What woman, having 10 silver coins, what woman having 10 silver coins, if she lost one of them, what woman wouldn't turn on the lamp and sweep the house and look everywhere for that coin until she found it? And when she found it, oh, there it is. What woman wouldn't rush to her friends and say, rejoice with me, I have found my coin that was lost? Jesus said, Jesus said to the Pharisee and the scribe, do you know there's more joy amongst the angels in heaven when just one person, just one sinner repents, just one person decides they're going to live their life in a better way. So, just like the coin was lost, and just like the sheep was lost, just like the shepherd was happy and rejoiced, and just like the woman was happy and rejoices, Jesus says, do you know God is so happy when the people whose lives are lost turn their lives round. It's called repenting in the Bible. And they find a new way. I wonder what the scribes and the Pharisees thought about those stories. Next time, I'm going to tell you the story about a person whose life it felt lost. It all went wrong. And that story has a very happy ending, just like those stories that we heard today. I'm going to say a prayer. If you'd like to make it your prayer, you can say Amen at the end. Dear Jesus, thank you that you spent lots of time with people whose lives were a bit of a muddle. Thank you that you helped them understand that with your help and with God's help, they could find a better way. Thank you that you helped them understand that even though they're lost, God is always trying to find them. And God is so happy. God rejoices when they turn their lives back to him. Amen. So that's the end for today. And I'm going to tell you that next parable next week.